Please leave a message after the tone.
Hello, my name is Adam Sandler, and welcome to So Sandlers, the Sandman movie podcast. A gabagoo.
Hello and welcome to So Sandlers, the Sandman movie podcast, a podcast where we discuss the movies of backcountry hick Adam Sandler. My name is Kerry Jones, and also, as always, I am joined by my dearest friend and co-host, Matt Wolstenholme.
Always good to be back. Always good to be back with some Sandler.
I am so happy that we've got back into an ordinary Sandler movie this week, because
after the tragedy of last week that's just better left unsaid.
I forgot. I haven't seen this movie for years, but I forgot how funny it was.
This is great. I forgot. Yeah, I agree as well. I hadn't seen this in a long time. I had a great time watching it. I don't think I'm going to be able to choose a favourite scene from this.
I think I have, but I don't know if it is my favourite scene. It's one of the funniest scenes.
I've got a couple written down, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
So, I really I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would. I thought it was better than I remembered.
What's your history with this movie?
I've seen this. This is one of those just like Big Daddy. It was just like early 2000s, like Big Daddy, Little Nicky, just a bit later than the 90s ones. And they were a bit like, I'd say this is probably a slightly more family-friendly than like Happy Gilmore or like a Billy Madison.
I think this is his nicest movie so far.
I'd say so.
It's the only one where Sandler hasn't got a mean spirit.
Yeah, he's just like a genuinely lovely, like, just country bumpkin in this. That's all he's playing.
Right. Yeah. For the people who don't know, the movie we are discussing this week is Mr. Deeds. Should we just get into it?
Mr. Deeds goes to Hollywood.
When a media mogul suddenly died, a $40 billion empire was at stake.
If I lose control of this company, it'll be catastrophic.
And all that was needed to stay in power
Did we find this heir yet?
was a simple handshake.
Longfellow Deeds?
Handshakes are for strangers, pal. We hug around here, buddy. What's up? What's up?
In this small town, they call him the poetic guy.
I promise to love you for 50 years more, even when your bosoms sag down to the floor.
But now, he'll be called the rich guy.
This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door.
From the producers of Big Daddy.
I got wicked bad frostbite when I was in the Scouts. Check it out.
The hideousness of that foot will haunt my dreams forever.
Oh yeah, I've heard that before.
One man is going to teach high society
He writes greeting cards.
Do you write your poems with a crayon, Deeds?
some small town values.
And if it wasn't for Miss Dawson being here, I'd probably knock your heads in.
I don't mind.
Okay.
Adam Sandler is
This will pay for everything I damaged. Sorry about that. Good to meet you guys. Thank you.
Mr. Deeds.
Don't be nervous. Go ahead. Didn't feel it. Isn't that awesome? Go ahead. Enjoy the foot. I know you're starting to like it, aren't you? Ow! You're sick! You're sick! Why would you do that to me? I'm just kidding you, pal.
Mr. Deeds is a 2002 American comedy film directed by Stephen Brill, written by Sandler. And written by Tim Hurley, starring Adam Sandler.
He's giving himself writing credits now, is he? That cheeky bastard.
Mr. Deeds is a 2002 American comedy film directed by Stephen Brill and written by Tim Hurley, starring Adam Sandler, Winona Ryder, with Peter Gallagher, Jared Harris, Alan Covert, Eric Avari, and John Turturro. It was a remake of the 1936 Frank Capra film Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. So, Stephen Brill.
I can't
he's
believe
back.
you've just completely glanced over the fact I made a joke about Mr. Deeds Goes to Hollywood instead of Mr. Deeds Go to Town, and you shit all over it. I'm not having it.
Mr. Deeds Go... No, Mr. Deeds Go to Hollywood is that... Okay. Is that the movie that Matt Stewart keeps on convincing himself is fake? Or real?
What? I just made that up. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. So, in Do Go On, and it comes up a couple of times, Matt Stewart talks about this movie that he used to watch in his grandparents' house, and he confuses it with, it's like Mr. Something Goes to Hollywood, but the actual movie is Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, but he's convinced that, I don't know. And that's what I thought you were doing.
Oh, I had no idea. I was just taking the piss.
Mr. Hands Goes to Hollywood.
Mr. Hands Goes to Everybody Google Mr. Hands. Do it. Do it now. Go and watch it and enjoy.
So Stephen Brill, yeah, he's constantly collaborating with Sandler. He directed Little Nicky, and he's directing a bunch of stuff coming back. Tim Herlihy, he's back writing all this shit. Winona Ryder, what's she been in? Beetlejuice, Little Women, Stranger Things.
Oh, I just fucking smashed the shit out of my funny bone and can't feel my hand anymore, so that's great. Fuck.
Adam Gallagher, he's Sandy Cohen from the OC.
Jeez.
Eric Avari, I know him from Home Alone 4.
I don't know any of these people, I know Peter Gallagher's like face from...
Yeah.
I honestly have no idea.
He's Sandy Cohen in the OC.
Around. I've never seen the
OC. Jared Harris, he is... what's his name?
Oh, he's in
Sherlock Holmes.
He's got like a really recognisable voice.
He's Dumbledore's son in real life. Not Michael Gambon, the original Dumbledore.
Christopher Harris.
What's his name? Richard Harris.
Sorry, Richard Harris. Jesus. Richard Harris, the only Dumbledore. Michael Gambon plays Gandalf.
No, Michael... Yeah,
Michael Gambon does not play Dumbledore. And I'm sorry, alright, for the last like 3 weeks or so, I've been listening to the Harry Potter audiobooks that I've never read before, and I've only ever watched the movies. Audiobooks are like... the books are infinitely better. And
yeah.
Michael
Careful
Gambon
what you say.
Absolutely does not play fucking Dumbledore in those movies. That is not Dumbledore.
What audiobooks are you listening to? Who's reading them?
Stephen Fry.
Okay, fun fact about me. I reckon 80% of the nights I have gone to sleep since I was like 6 years old, and this is no word of a lie, I have listened to Stephen Fry reading the Harry Potter audiobook.
Jesus Christ.
I promise you. Every single night.
Wait, can you give us a line from a Harry Potter movie in Welsh?
Right, no. But the first book...
Why not?
The first book has been translated into Welsh.
Okay.
It's called Harry Potter a'r Maen yr Atronedd. And Harry is spelled Harri. And it's got like Drago, Marllwyd, Slefrig, Snape. Hufflepuff is Woofly Puff.
No, I need the rest of the houses now. You need to tell me.
One is like Cravengar. Let me get them up.
The Welsh version of Harry Potter. I need to invest in this audiobook. Does Stephen Fry read it in Welsh?
No.
So I wish.
It's the audiobook's not in Welsh. It's just the first book has been translated.
Oh, okay.
So it is. Okay, take a guess. What is Slavenog?
I've got to go with Slytherin.
Correct. Cravangfran?
Ravenclaw?
Correct. Cyreol?
Gryffindor?
Yeah, and Woofly Puff.
Of course it's fucking Woofly Puff. That's fucking amazing. Oh my god, how's it? Alright, we're off. We got a bit off topic there.
Wait, okay. So, since I've had Audible, well, this Audible account, which I had about 16 months ago, I have listened to 12 months worth of audiobooks.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Honestly, without fail, every single night.
As well as 12 months worth of podcasters.
Yeah. I have just audio going all the time.
You consumer. Jesus. That's outrageous.
Alan Covert, back.
We're back. Pull it back.
And then John Turturro in his first Sandler movie.
John Turturro was great at everything. And
except that Jesus Rolls movie.
The which one?
The sequel to The Big Lebowski that I told you about last week.
Fucking never again. Don't watch it.
Right. The first thing we like to do on this podcast, Matt, is I like to find a plot synopsis online, and then you've got to decide whether we curb that blurb. And by curb that blurb, I mean take it outside, make it bite the pavement, and kick it in the back of the head. So this plot synopsis comes from SonyPictures.com. I'm fairly sure they are in charge of the Spider-Man movies. And it says, small town guy Longfellow Deeds goes to the big city to collect a $40 billion inheritance from a long-lost uncle. Living in a palatial mansion with the service of an unusual personal valet isn't too bad. Things get even better when he meets a beautiful school nurse. But money changes everything. And things aren't what they seem. His sweetie is actually a journalist feeding the reporters his outrageous behaviours to the press. Now, it's up to Deeds to straighten everybody out, with a few right hooks and lots of common sense.
I don't know about that. I don't think that described the same movie I watched.
Every single time I paused is because there was a full stop. And this comes from the Sony Pictures website.
Oh, do better. Jesus Christ. Nah, I'm kicking that the fucking curb. I can get a curb stomp.
Yeah, I agree with that.
How does it describe the movie?
Like, Jesus, surely this can be so much better. I'm sure the fucking DVD probably has a better plot synopsis on the back. As well as finding plot synopsis, I like to find some reviews as well. So this one,
Aha.
This one comes
from.
from.
That's a word.
No idea. This one comes from TheGuardian.com, and Peter Bradshaw wrote, "A remake so bad it will make your gums bleed. Orphanage fires are funnier."
Fucking hell, alright. What did this movie do to you?
And that came from The Guardian.
Jesus, I didn't realise anyone was such a big fan of Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. Fucking hell.
And then I put some user reviews as well. Okay. So, Sandler has... How many remakes has he done? He's done this, The Longest Yard. Has he done anything else?
Not off the top of my head.
But then his movies have been remade. 50 First Dates in Korean. Twice.
How is the Korean version of 50 First Dates?
I think it's exactly the same.
Ah.
I've also found
there must be a
user
Bollywood
reviews
version of some Adam Sandler movie, surely.
I think there's a Bollywood version of Happy Gilmore and Big Daddy. No, not Big Daddy. Little Nick. Billy Madison.
Fuck, that must be weird.
I've also found some user reviews as well. So I've got 5 stars from Wrestling Giant, and he says, Adam Sandler, very funny. Hee hee hoo hoo ha ha. Made me laugh a lot.
I mean, I had a good chuckle at this movie, so I'll go with you there.
And then 1 star from Gems Movies, Longfellow Deeds, shake my head. Sandler tries to play the average guy in this one, and boy does it stink of doo-doo poo-poo. He writes shitty ass Hallmark cards, what a joke.
I don't think Adam Sandler's the one that was miscast in this.
No. I think Adam Sandler is perfect in this.
Yeah, I think his co-star might have been miscast, but...
Do you think?
I think they could have got someone better than Winona Ryder. I like Winona Ryder a lot, but I don't think she should have been in this role. I think it was for someone else. I don't know if I don't have anyone specifically in mind. I just don't think it was... I just felt like she shouldn't have been there. Or it should have been someone else. Drew Barrymore.
No.
You just don't want to see Drew Barrymore hurt Adam Sandler in a movie.
Yeah, she's too mean for this. I think Courtney Cox could have done it.
I think that would have been a great shout, actually. Yeah. She would have done a much better role because she has that craziness about her.
And she has the experience of being a reporter from Scream.
She does. She is a returning reporter in about 4 of the 5 Scream movies.
No, she's in all of them.
She in all of them?
Yeah.
She in Scream 3?
Yeah.
Jesus. What was she? That was like the late 90s. She was making like $1 million a fucking episode for Friends at this point. Have a rest.
I think she prefers Gail Weathers to Monica, though.
Well, yeah, she's gone back to Scream. None of them have ever gone and done Friends again.
That's true. Thinking about the reviews I just told you, what do you think this movie got on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh, probably not well. I can't imagine this did good in the critics. Fuck, they never do well, but sure, I don't really care. It's kind of irrelevant at this point. You know it's not going to be a positive one, so it's just kind of funny to see what they've come up with.
So the critics give this a 22%.
Jesus Christ.
And I was actually surprised at the audience score for this movie. The audience only give this a 59% approval rating.
Okay. 59%. Compared to some of his other ones, that is a little bit low, considering it's definitely better than quite a few of them.
Yeah. I think it's better than quite a few of them.
100%. I think this is definitely better than Billy Madison. Yeah. I'd arguably say it's better than Big Daddy. I'd say they're about the same. They're just different movies, but I feel like they're probably on the par.
I did enjoy this. And then the budget was $50 million, and it made $171 million at the box office.
Nice. Decent return.
So, it was a box office success. Considering that Little Nicky by Stephen Brill was a box office flop, the next movie
was as well.
For some reason. No, their next movie together, which is
sorry. I thought Punch Drunk Love did not do well at the box office.
Yes, but this one...
This did.
I think it's back to the norm of Sandler. So, I've taken the plot synopsis from Wikipedia once more, and as these plot breakthrough... has this whole thing usually... As the plot on Wikipedia usually goes, it just cuts out a bunch in the middle. So please stop me. There's a couple of things I want to talk about.
Okay, I've got a decent amount of notes here, and there's only probably like a few parts of the movie where I've skipped more than like 15 minutes.
Right. Okay.
So I should be all right for some stuff.
Okay, so. Multi-billionaire Preston Blake freezes to death upon reaching the top of Mount Everest. With no immediate heir, it is unclear who will inherit Blake's massive fortune. His board of directors discover that he has a living grandnephew named Longfellow Deeds, who runs a pizzeria in Mandrake Falls, New Hampshire, and also writes greeting cards.
It's a good opening to the movie. We get them just climbing up to the summit of Everest. This guy's... he's like 90 years old in this movie, and he's just climbing Everest, and the storm rolls in, his entire crew just like, nah, fuck this, we're all gonna die, we're going back to the bottom. Nah, bitches, I'll see you at the top, come and get me when we're done.
And he makes it.
He doesn't make it back, but he makes it to the top.
I think dying on top of Mount Everest is this old man dying happy.
Alright, he dies with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Frozen in.
And he must have been about 90. And then him dying is just like breaking news for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know, I guess. Famous person.
Why is this Warren Buffett type media mogul?
Oh, I don't know, I feel like if Warren Buffett died, it'd probably be in the news.
Yes, but they're obsessed with it. Like, they're not gonna...
There's a few people that could probably do... I'm just... No, you know what, let's just move away from that. Longfellow Deeds, that's a name in and of itself.
But yeah, they discover this guy because the fax comes through. But the first fax that comes through... What are the name of these characters? What's the name of the bad guy?
One of them's called Cecil?
Cecil, yeah.
Cecil.
Cecil is...
the bald guy.
Cecil is the bald guy.
Yeah.
And then... Oh, no.
I can't remember what Peter Gallagher's character's called.
I'll get them up now. Cecil is the bald guy. And then Peter Gallagher, his name is Chuck.
Chuck. Oh yeah, Chuck Cedar. There you go.
But yeah, they get a fax through, and the first fax that comes through, Chuck reads it and is like, does anybody know a Dr. Francis? And then Cecil's like, yeah, I do. Like, congrats, you got a spastic colon.
Why is that coming through on the public fax? Sort your shit out, Cecil.
But yeah, they discover that it's Longfellow Deeds, who's this guy who runs a pizzeria in New Hampshire. So they decide to go up.
I do kind of like the fact that it comes through as not like an ID or like a page of like, this is the person's picture, like name, date of birth or whatever. It just literally is like block capitals, Longfellow Deeds.
Longfellow Deeds. So they go to greet him in Mandrake Falls. They come on their helicopter, and the airport... What are they called? These guys?
Oh, the guys with the fucking sticks.
Yeah.
Ushers? I don't know.
No idea. The airport stick guy is played
Airport
by
traffic
Dante.
control. Fucking that'll do.
Yes. Traffic control is played by Peter Dante. And then like, yeah, I'll take you to Deeds.
It's literally just a guy sat on a chair in a field.
Yep.
That's him just by himself.
But I don't understand. He called in sick to work.
Yeah,
but he's working. It was confusing.
This guy's not got his priorities sorted. Called in sick to work to go to another job.
Cecil was sat in the back with like a goat or something, and then
Oh, in the pickup truck. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then they arrive at the pizzeria where Thingy works from 2.5 Men. What's her name?
Oh, Bertha.
Bertha from 2.5 Men.
Berta?
Her name is
Berta.
Berta?
Berta. I think it's Berta in 2.5 Men.
Berta, yeah. And she plays Jan, and she's just, I'm guessing, the head waitress, second in charge. And she's just running this whole pizzeria as Deeds is off doing... Oh, he's delivering because Peter Dante has called in sick. That's where he is. So yeah, they meet Deeds, and then Deeds is flown back to New York City by businessman Chuck Cedar, who temporarily controls Blake Media. Once Deeds arrives, plans are made for him to sell his shares in the company to Cedar and return home with $40 billion. Deeds remains in New York while the legal details are worked out.
So yeah, we get I've just got a few things here that we skipped over. Just in the shop, we get to witness as well the first gift card reading of the movie.
Yep.
That he's trying to sit. So he's a pizzeria owner who is also trying to become a professional greetings card salesman by selling them to Hallmark, but is unsuccessful because he's kind of shit.
Yes.
So he does his gift card reading. They're obviously not impressed and kind of take the piss. And then he is still busy, so he's got a few deliveries to make. So he goes and visits just a couple people in the little town where he lives. This is where we get Steve Buscemi's character for the first time.
Yes.
And he's he's delivering him pizza. So I wrote this down because he says two things that made me fucking crack up. He's delivering a pizza to him, and he's just in jail, and he's like, "Ah, yes, French fries and Oreo pizza, just like I like it." And so he's like to him, "Hey, what are you doing in prison?" And he says, "Oh, I'm doing a one-nighter because I bit the mailman." And then he's moving on, and he's delivering pizzas around town, and he sits with these old ladies, and they're quite fond of Cecil.
What's her name? Kitty.
Kitty, yeah, we get some some OAP flirtation going on here, and it's
Yeah, it's like, what is this? Like, oh, should I call you Kitty or should I call you Meow?
Oh God. Eric Avara, you charmer, you. Good God, you smooth talker.
It was something along those lines.
I think it was exactly that. But yeah, so before we get to New York, we have one of my favourite scenes in the movie is the helicopter scene on the way over.
Yeah.
So they stop off for Wendy's just for no reason. They just park up the helicopter in a Wendy's car park, and then they're on the way, and we get "This is ground control to Major Tom." This is a great scene. Them singing Space Odyssey in the back of this helicopter is fucking quality.
Do you think Wendy's paid
Yes.
a lot of money after seeing the success of Popeye's chicken in the previous movie?
Yes, absolutely.
There has to be, surely.
I mean, like, the Popeye's chicken is probably the most egregious advertising I've ever seen in any movie.
The Popeye's chicken in Little Nicky is a character.
Yeah, but like you say, it is a character. It becomes a character. The pocket of chicken becomes a character. But no, I reckon any fast food restaurant that's like makes so much money if they're in like an Adam Sandler movie from now on, just because he did that in Little Nicky.
Is there anything else you want to add there?
What else have we got? No, that was it. That's the last notes I've got before we get to New York.
Okay. The story is major news, and reporter Babe Bennett, who works for a tabloid television show called Inside Access, wants in on the inside story. She has a co-worker, Marty, pretend to steal her purse in sight of Deeds, who rescues Babe. She then goes out with him pretending to be Pam Dawson, a school nurse from Iowa. So we just skipped a load there.
That is a lot of the movie.
As soon as Deeds... Honestly, the next bit is... Though Babe initially just wanted a career advance in story, she eventually falls in love unfailingly soft-hearted Deeds. She decides to tell him who she really is. So
that's the end of the movie.
So we got the whole movie to talk about. But yeah, it's major news. As soon as he lands, paparazzi take a photo, and then GTA style just jumps off the tallest building, parachute, and then that picture is worth like $100,000, and it's straight in newspapers, and then everybody knows who he is instantaneously.
I fucking hate paparazzi, they're awful people. But like that guy waiting on a rooftop and then fucking parachuting off the top to get a photo, that I can vibe with that. That's fucking good commitment to your job.
Yes. It is very much major commitment. And then Inside Access, it's just this TV show where Alan Covert works, Winona Ryder works, Jared Harris works. Is Jared Harris supposed to be Australian in this movie?
I couldn't tell you, honestly.
I think he is. It was a very bad accent.
Oh, fuck, yeah, he is. Oh my god, yeah. He is supposed to be Australian in this. I completely forgot about that. Holy shit.
Yeah, Jared Harris as Mac McGrath, the Australian head of Inside Access, who reports Deeds' antics in New York.
Fuck, yeah, that's not a good accent.
No, it's dreadful. It's absolutely awful. But then, yeah, he has this plan to try to get as much information on Deeds as he can, so he gets Babe Bennett, who's played by Winona Ryder, to go undercover to see what this guy is actually like. And the first instance that they meet is Alan Covert pretending to mug Winona Ryder.
Yeah.
And then Adam Sandler catches him and then just beats the shit out of him.
That's such a good scene. He just fucking pummels Alan Covert on the floor.
Just completely. And then, they decide to go out for food, and then all this happens. But before all this happens, we meet all the staff in...
Yes.
The very first night, we meet the staff that's in the Blake mansion.
Yeah, so he arrives, and first things first, he meets his staff. He arrives in that just very grand double staircase lobby to the rest of his penthouse apartment, essentially. And he's we get this iconic echo scene.
Yep.
I love this where just the oldest guy in the room just boob.
So the elevator guy is played by JB Smoove.
Yeah.
He's a comedian. He's currently in the Spider-Man movies as one of the teachers.
Really?
Yeah, he's in Far From Home and No Way Home. He's the second teacher in Far From Home.
Oh, I've not seen Far From Home in fucking ages.
Yeah, and then the old guy... I always used to think this old guy saying boobs was the funniest thing in the world.
He's just the tiniest, oldest man. He literally looks like he's on his deathbed.
And then we meet John Turturro's character as well. He's the butler.
He's very
Emilio.
sneaky.
Yeah, very sneaky.
What can you translate that for us, please, Gary?
What?
Very sneaky. Can you do it in his accent?
No. That's what he says. Very sneaky, sir.
Very sneaky. Yeah, he's the best character in this movie.
Yes, he
absolutely.
But then, yeah. So they have this whole scene is just echo, and then the chef comes out, some of the maids come out, and everybody's just shouting different stuff, and then Adam Sandler just goes, "Okay, I'm ready for bed now."
So he goes up to his bed, and I can't remember if it's the night of or it's the day after, and with the frostbite scene.
It's the day after.
It's the day after.
So he goes to bed, wakes up, and then the first person he meets in the morning is John Turturro, and John Turturro's like, "Okay, so can I put on your socks?" And then he's like, "No, it's okay, I got this myself." And it's like, "Oh, come on, let me do it, I just really like feet." And then it's like, "Nah, you don't want to touch my feet, have a look at this." And then he pulls his sock off, and then it's the frostbite scene.
If anyone's not seen this, he just pulls off his sock and his foot is not decrepit or anything, it's just a normal foot that's just completely jet black. And John Turturro I wrote this down, John Turturro looks at this foot, at this man who loves feet, and says, "The hideousness of that foot will haunt my dreams forever." And Adam Sandler's all his responses, "Yeah, I've heard that before."
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, I've got no feeling in my foot. And then
so he gets a fucking fire poker.
John Turturro just to go absolutely ham on his foot with a fire poker.
It gets him good in this, though. He's just absolutely bashing the shit out of it. He's like, "Come on, put some fucking force into it." So he just grabs it and absolutely rams it straight, stabs it into his foot. Adam Sandler's reaction is just screaming in pain and just fucking scares the shit out of him.
Oh. But John Turturro says, what does he say? He's like, "Your uncle didn't let me touch his feet either." He's just got a thing for feet throughout this whole thing. It's so
Quentin
strange.
Tarantino again.
Yeah.
So the next scene we get in this, I've just got one more note, is he is told that he owns the New York Jets. Adam Sandler is a famous, obviously, New York Jets fan. Being from, he's from New Hampshire or somewhere, and he plays a Patriots fan in this.
Yes.
And he's just like, so they tell him, he's like, "Oh, what's the football scores?" He's like, "Oh, the Jets lost." And he's like, They tell him he owns the Jets, and he's like, that's unfortunate, the Jets are fucking choke artists. And then his star quarterback bursts into the room and just immediately starts going off, like, just swearing at everybody, and is just demanding more money, and he's never playing again. So Adam Sandler just fucking rocks him.
Yeah. Knocks him out. Yeah.
He just
straight away.
Absolutely cleans him out, and he's like, I didn't want to hit you, but if you ever swear in front of that lady again, I'll fuck you up.
So yeah, they're in
Very
the boardroom
polite.
now because...
Yes, he's going in there to sign his documents, and this guy's interrupting.
And Chuck's in there with a bunch of French people trying to sell Blake Media.
Yes. Yeah, he's trying to get rid of the company as soon as it's passed on to him.
So, this football player is called Kevin Ward. He's a fictional player, and basically Adam Sandler then fires him from the Jets, and he's like, Chuck's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, he's our best player. And Adam Sandler's like, no, don't worry, he'll come back. And then later on in the movie, we get a scene where Chuck is ringing up Adam Sandler to say, listen, I'm sorry, my papa told me I needed to ring up and ask for my job back, blah, blah, blah. And his dad is played by Blake Clark, who has come back. It's a very, very small role. And then he's like, he ends up speaking to Adam Sandler, but then he finds out that he was swearing in front of women.
He's getting the belt.
Yeah, he's like, what did I tell you, boy, about swearing in front of ladies? And then he gets the belt, and then we just get like a horror movie shot, and this guy Kevin is just screaming at the camera like, Papa, no!
No, Daddy, no! Fuck. The next note I have after this is then Pam Dawson getting mugged.
Yeah, and then the mugging happens,
Yes.
which we've already spoken about.
One more note is that she is from Winchesterton Fieldville.
Winchester.
Fucking nailed that, by the way.
Fieldville, yeah. But yeah, like you said earlier, Sandler saves her from the mugging by Alan Covert, and then they
The
decide
fake
to
mugging.
go- Yeah, the fake mugging, and then they decide to go out for food. They go out for food straight away. Yeah, that's their first date.
Yeah, because he takes him to that posh restaurant.
Yeah, so they go to a posh restaurant, and then there's some New York City types, like arts types and business.
Yeah, some people who think they're fancier than they are.
Yeah, invite them over to have food, but it turns out they've just been invited over to basically be made fun of, and Sandler's not happy. Do you know earlier I said this was probably the nicest we've seen Sandler?
Yeah.
I think in this movie he knocks out about 8 people.
Justifiably, though, I will say. He doesn't hit anyone that doesn't deserve it.
And then he goes absolutely apeshit on these 3-4 people and just knocks them all out and just has a fight in the middle of the restaurant. And he's given this random couple 20 grand. This is their anniversary.
No, I think the guy's proposing, so he sends fucking $50,000 to their table.
Yeah. And
then he just I didn't write this down, but what does he do? Like, he beats the shit out of the fat guy.
Yeah.
And there's a fat guy like
the fat guy just goes, I believe I've just shit my pants.
I couldn't remember, and I didn't just want to fucking make that up, but I was convinced that's what happened. Yeah.
And then he runs into what's the name of this tennis player?
John McEnroe, just literally on the side of the road.
John McEnroe, he was in this restaurant and started like, I like what you did to those guys. Let's go out and party. John McEnroe, I had a look at his filmography. He pops up in like 6 different Sandler movies.
Really?
This is the first, and he just pops up in a bunch. Coming up,
they must be mates.
Has himself, and then they go out on the town, and John McEnroe apparently is known for partying.
The bad boy of tennis, supposedly.
Yeah. So they just get drunk, they start smoking, and then they start like egging cars and
John McEnroe like is in the middle of the street and jumps and completely clears a speeding car at like age 50.
And then obviously because Winona Ryder's undercover, all this is being caught on camera, and then the next day there's a media storm of Longfellow Deeds being a dick.
Yeah, they just obviously cut to however they want to make it look, and he looks a lot worse than he is.
Yes.
Classic
And then
news.
And then what happens?
Then we have a funeral.
Yes, we have the funeral.
We have Preston Blake's funeral, which is this is a good scene. So we get this funeral. He's invited. He obviously has no idea who this guy is and never met him before. Everyone's giving nice eulogies. The pastor in this, the Reverend, is a famous person, and I forget his name right now.
The Reverend.
That's going to annoy me. Al Sharpton. That's who it is. It's Al Sharpton, who is a Baptist minister.
Yeah.
That's who it is. Sorry, if you know who that is, fair play. If you don't, fair enough. But he is actually a famous person. I completely forgot that. But yeah, Al Sharpton is the Reverend in this, performing the ceremony.
And he's just doing his eulogy, and every single line he does just rhymes.
Yeah, it's so seamless and so smooth.
And it just cuts to Deeds. It's like, that guy should get into writing greeting cards.
Oh, that's great. Do we get anyone else speaking here other than these two?
No, it's just the two of them.
Okay.
And then
so yeah, we skipped. Sorry, go on.
Go on.
I would just say we get to the end of the funeral and Deeds decides to go and do his own little speech that he's pre-prepared probably like the morning of. And you know, it's go on.
Doesn't he say that he wrote it on the way over?
Maybe. Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah.
He must do. I have no idea what he says here, but he manages. Oh, it's something like I can't remember what he does, and he rhymes it with, and his last line is something like, "And I'll buy the beers." And you just get this, and it just like cuts to Al Sharpton, and it like the whole speech is terrible except like the last two lines, and everyone's like, "Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this?" And then Al Sharpton's like, "Yeah, man's got some nice lines," and then he tries, and then he says, "Where I come from, we have funerals with open caskets, so I hope you don't mind if we just pay our last respects." And then he opens the casket, and this guy fucking springboards out, just fucking sits bolt upright like the fucking Undertaker getting out of a casket. Oh fuck! And then he tries to put him back down to no avail. It's not working, and then obviously rigor mortis has set in, and he's just breaking bones, trying to get this guy back in the coffin.
He snaps his arm off. I'm trying to find out if I can find this. So, Al Sharpton goes, "Now, Brother Preston is soaring with eagles high above because he lived a life full of love. Yes, he's flying away up high because he was a super cool guy. He's gone away too soon, it seems, leaving behind his unfinished dreams." And then cuts to Longfellow Deeds. This guy could have a life writing greeting cards, and then, "Yes, we remember Preston Blake, a man with faith no man could shake, a strength no man could break, a character no man could fake. For goodness sake, let's eat some cake. Funeral attendants, amen." But I can't find Longfellow Deeds'
Oh, come on, surely.
I can't find it. What was the name of Al Preston? Yeah.
Al Sharpton.
Oh yeah, it's Preston Blake. Is
Preston Blake.
Al. So. Okay, so there's one more here. No. His only other quote is after Preston Blake comes out, it cuts back to the last line of the scene is just this Reverend going, "That's freaky."
That's freaky.
But yeah, after the funeral, Babe and Deeds, they go on a bunch of other dates. They go to they go to Central Park and they buy some bikes off some kids. Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Was there anything?
Yeah. This is my next note.
Yeah. So they buy. I want to talk about this guy. So they buy bikes off this kid, and it just cuts to a homeless guy. Have you read about this homeless guy?
Is this the New York homeless guy?
Yes.
Yeah, he's in like 1,000 movies or something.
Yeah. So this guy's called Radio Man, and he's playing
That's what it is.
a version of himself. And this is his Wikipedia. Radio Man is the nickname of a formerly homeless man in New York City who has become widely known for making over 100 cameo appearances in films and television shows.
Jesus.
He has made cameos in TV series 30 Rock, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, films such as The Departed, Shutter Island, Just My Luck, Romas and Cigarettes, Elf, 2 Weeks Notice, Glitter, Keeping Up Faith, Godzilla, Ransom, Big Daddy, Mr. Deeds, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, The Other Woman, and the Bourne trilogy.
I do love that only about a quarter of those movies are actually based in New York.
Yeah, and the only reason he is in movies is because he was a homeless guy in New York, and then he found job in like one of those little news booths that sell like chewing gums and newspapers and drinks and whatnot.
Yeah.
And a movie was filming on his street, and they were like, "Okay, can you get out in the news booth so we can use it for the movie, and we'll just get an extra in?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm not moving." I'm like, "No."
Stick me in.
He's like, the director's like, "No, get out. Like, we have this street closed." I'm like, "Nope, I'm not moving." And then he's just figured out where different movies are going to be filming in the city, and then he just shows up on the day and like, "Okay, I'll be in the background of this one."
That's funny as fuck. Oh, at least someone that's homeless in New York's having a good time, eh? Jesus.
Yeah, but he's not homeless anymore. He's got a house in Brooklyn.
Yeah, he's a fucking actor.
Yeah. What other dates do they go on?
They go here.
They bike around Central Park for a bit.
They bike around Central Park. He takes her to her hometown, and we have the one at the ice rink as well.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any more before that.
Is there anything else we need to mention about? No, I don't think so. Is there anything else we need to mention about Central Park?
Only just after Central Park.
What happens just after Central Park?
So while they're cycling through Central Park, they see the fire trucks going past.
Yeah.
So Deeds, being from a very small town where, you know, like, the next street over is the end of town, follows the fire truck because he thinks, like, fuck, there's a fire, I need to help because, you know, small town, everyone gets involved. It's not exactly New York where there's 20 million people. So they follow this fire truck, there's a burning down building, and the fire department, obviously, doing their jobs and whatnot, and then this one lady's just stuck in the in her apartment and refuses to leave because she has like 5 cats in there.
Yeah.
So fucking Adam Sandler rocks up and they're like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?" He's like, No, I'm deputy like fire chief in like my hometown." They're like, "All right, sure, I guess." So he just runs into the building and just runs straight up to like the 4th floor of this entire inferno.
He climbs up the drain pipe.
Oh, he climbs up the fucking drain pipe. And the actress in the apartment is Laverne from Scrubs.
Yes, she is.
I don't know, I can't remember her name, but that, if anyone would know, it would be Laverne from Scrubs. Oh, fucking.
Yeah, carry on.
I think Aloma Wright is her name, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aloma Wright. She's famous. She's quite famous. But so, he's obviously... She won't leave without the cats, so he's like running around trying to find all these cats and just chucking them out the window to this like the trampoline thing that the fire department have that I've only ever seen in a movie. Is that a real thing? Or do they actually use that? Or...
I don't know.
So Adam Sandler is just fucking free for all in launching these cats out of a window, and this is my personal favourite scene in the movie, I think. So this cat just like I think it's the last cat they save. They're just bouncing around and like different people are catching the cats in the crowd. And there's one cat
one goes
just
down
goes,
a drain.
Yeah.
One goes in a guy's afro.
One just goes off screen, and you just don't see where it lands, and then you just see it. It just comes like through a window, and we have the best part of this movie. We get a great cameo here from a repeat character, Rob Schneider's delivery man from Big Daddy. He's back. Nazo's back. The man who cannot spell hippopotamus is back. And so he's just doing deliveries. He's the same guy. And he's just walking down the corridor, and this cat flies through the window and lands in his bike, his delivery bike, and he just looks and he's like, "Holy shit, it's a cat!" That's it. And his delivery of that line is incredible. It's like he just saw Jesus come out of nowhere on the front of his bike.
I love Rob Schneider.
And then we get Adam Sandler. He saves all the cats. He saves Laverne, and they fucking cuddle and land on that trampoline.
Yes. And again, all this is being filmed. But saving the cat is like an actual film trope to show that the character in the movie is supposed to be a hero. So in olden days, saving the cat, you'd see firemen saving cats from trees to show that they're good guys or whatever. So this movie just takes it to the next step, where he saves 7 cats in 3 minutes.
Didn't know you grew up in rural 1950s New York.
But yeah, all this is being filmed by Bay Bennett, and then the next morning, again, all this has gone back to inside access, and it's been cut to make it look like Mr. Deeds is throwing cats out of windows to their death, and
just murdering cats left, right, and centre.
And sexually assaulting Laverne from Scrubs.
By grabbing her and forcing her out of a window.
Yes, and then onto the floor. This annoys Bay Bennett because she... No, yes. I think they've already been to Mandrake Falls, maybe. No, not Mandrake Falls. They've already been to Winchestertonville.
Winchestertonfieldville. No, they're almost about to go. Okay. So we get this, and then we get, they move on from this, and Chuck Cedar is like, fuck this guy, I want to get rid of him. And Alan Covert is now pissed off because he's stealing Pam Dawson because she's falling for him, and so he meets him at the tennis club.
Yes.
He's the ball boy.
Yes, he is. But yes. What happens with... When does Winona Ryder get annoyed with... And she's like, I'm going to tell him. When does this happen?
I think it's after they go to Winchestertonville.
Right, okay.
Yeah, no, it is. That's the next note I've got. Because she doesn't tell him, they go to the ice rink.
Yes, okay. So she gets annoyed with... So she hands in the footage. They go to Winchestertonville.
Yes.
Which is this fictitious town that Pam Dawson made up because she's caught in a lie.
Yeah.
But apparently it's an actual town. So they go to visit it, and then they go into the local diner. This is my favourite scene in the movie.
It's so awkward.
They go into this diner, and Mr. Deeds is like, "Hi everyone, does everybody recognize this girl?" I'll give you a clue. Oh, my arm is hurt because I fell out of Mr. Finch's tree. And then this old guy just goes, Didn't you used to have a big lump on your back? And then she's like, oh no, it wasn't that big. Nah, the girl I remember, this was like a beach ball. I was like, okay, yes, I had a big lump on my back, and I was self-conscious about it. And then he just turns to his wife look, Quasimodo's grown up.
Quasimodo's grown up.
And then that's my favourite scene, just because of this old guy just bullying a little hunchback. And then, they decide to go around the town, and...
Yeah, so they go try and find her old childhood house.
Old house, yeah. And then they find a house that looks remarkably like the one that she described. Red door, blue shutters, tire swing in the front.
Tire swing in the front.
They go knock on the door and is answered by 3 kids. And then they have a tour of the house. And then...
This is weird.
And then one of the kids just goes, "My daddy built this house with his bare hands 6 years ago." And then Winona Ryder just goes, "Well, your daddy's a liar."
Oh, fuck, I forgot. I just don't understand how they managed to get in this house with 3 kids. Like, what's going on there?
Dunno. And then, yeah.
So yeah, we get that bill. She's obviously like, okay, this needs to stop now. This has gone too far.
Yes. And then they leave. And then they're at the tennis club. And then Alan Covert's like, he sends over a ball to Chuck. And it says, "I have information. Meet me in shower in 15.
Yeah.
Yes. And then what happens?
So, the truth comes out.
Yes.
I think this is where we were up to on the Wikipedia, was it? Or did we get past this?
No, I think this is... Though Babe initially just wanted a career advance in stories, she eventually falls for Deeds. She decides to tell him who she really is. But, inside access, in cohorts with Cedar, who learned the truth from Marty, reveals the truth to Deeds first. Heartbroken, Deeds decides to return home to Mandrake Falls with assurance that the company will stay open in Blake's honor, and he donates $40 billion to the UNCF.
Didn't want to read that, did you?
So, yeah. Babe Bennett is annoyed with
she's annoyed with
with
Mac, the
Mac.
fucking Australian bro, Mac, yeah.
Mac.
Because he's just a cunt. He's just like, I want ratings, I don't care,
Yeah.
see you later. And that's what he says to her. He's like, look, if I don't do it, someone else is going to fucking do it. I'm rich, and I don't care. And so she's like, well, fuck you, I quit, and I'm going to go and tell him. And so she's on her way to her date. I think he's going to propose. Is he going to propose in this?
I think he's going to propose.
Yeah, because if you've not seen it, they're on an ice rink.
Again.
Just the middle of the professional ice hockey rink, and they've got this table set out with like a string quartet and just like loads of roses and several different sizes of bouquets, which I thought that was quite funny. He's just there like, he's like, we got any smaller flowers? I can't even see the other side of the fucking table. Oh, fucking class. So she turns up, and then as she turns up, so do Chuck Cedar and is it Alan Covert's character who's there as well? And they put it on the they chuck it on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, so Alan Covert's there working the Jumbotron, but Cecil is there as well.
Yeah.
And Chuck. And then he's like, oh, can you put on Channel 9? And then so the TV channel gets turned over to Inside Access, and as it's broken to Deeds, Winona Ryder comes in and she sees everything that's been revealed at the same time as he is, and then she basically breaks down and she's like, I was going to tell you. And then Deeds is like, okay, I'm off. And then he runs all the way back to Mandrake Falls after signing the company over. Yeah,
so he's just like, fuck this, I'm heartbroken, everyone in New York's bullshit, I'm going home. I don't care what happens to my $40 billion, you can donate it to the United Negro College Fund.
Yes,
which
correct.
is played by George Wallace, who is, I think he's in Little Nicky as well.
George.
He's a comedian, and I'm pretty sure he's in Little Nicky. I think this is a repeat, or like not a repeat, but
George Wallace, yeah. He has been in Mr. Deeds.
Or maybe it wasn't in Little Nicky. Then maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
No, I don't think he was. No, he's in Hubie Halloween.
There you go.
So he's coming back.
We'll get there.
After returning to go on, continue.
No, that was it. I was just looking if I had any notes, but that was it.
Okay. After returning to Mandrake Falls, Deeds learns from his friend Crazy Eyes that Cedar intends to sell the company, causing thousands of employees to lose their jobs. Babe follows Deeds to Mandrake Falls to win him back. After saving her life when she falls through the ice over a lake, he rejects her, saying he does not really know who she is.
Yeah, so he's left. He's just like, no, I'm not asked. I'm going back to delivering pizzas when I was actually happy in my little hometown.
Yes.
Fuck. There's another pizza here that he gives to Crazy Eyes that has like wild toppings. I think it's like anchovies and gumballs or some shit like that. I didn't write it down. I don't know why I didn't write it down, but it's fucked. It's fucked. But yeah. Then we get a pizza house fight scene. So Pam comes after Deeds, who's back in his hometown. She turns up to the pizzeria to find him, and she's met with
Jan.
Jan is her name. Jan, who's the
Bertha.
Yeah.
Jan.
Conchata Farrell. Yeah, who's Jan? So she's the retired rodeo clown that works there. She's just this big old unit of a woman. And just fucking, they have big old scrap, just destroying tables and covering each other in pizza dough and just fucking slapping the shit out of each other.
And then Winona Ryder goes to
the running
kick her
drop
in the
kick in the... Yeah. She tries to kick her in the balls and she's like, I don't know, you think you're kicking, honey, but ain't shit down there. Oh, fucking hell. This is, yeah, that's a fucking good scene. So she I don't know, they kind of fight to a draw.
Yeah.
And so she's like, well, you got some good licks in, so fuck it, I'll tell you where he is.
Yes,
Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm sure she tells him, yeah. So she's like, oh, he's out in the woods doing something. So she's trying to find him, and as she's trying to find him, she finds him like across I don't know, they're out in the middle of the forest, I don't really know why.
Because...
Is it because he's delivering to Crazy Eyes?
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay, so she tries to find the cabin that's his house, and she slips... Oh, like, she steps onto, like, a frozen lake that's covered in snow and falls through the ice. So as that happens, Adam Sandler rocks up and is like, oh, haha, big joke, where are the fucking cameras? You just come to laugh at me some more. And she's there like, I'm dying in the ice. Please. It's just no fucks given. Oh yeah, good one. Where's everybody else? And she just sinks slowly and slowly further under and then just disappears. And he's like, oh shit. Maybe she is drowning. And then we get the fucking... So he's like, oh shit, where is she? So he's rubbing the ice, he's rubbing the snow, he's trying to find her under the ice. You know, and being under ice is pretty fucking dangerous. Gets the ultimate equalizer out, move down, swim down, the big black foot's coming. And he just fucking launches this foot straight through the ice. I can't remember if he kicks her in the face or not when he does it.
No, he doesn't. So the foot goes through. And then he goes, I know it's gross, but you need to hold on.
You need to grab the foot. Oh, fucking such a gross foot.
And then he pulls her out with his foot. And then she says something along the lines of what John Turturro said earlier. It's like, that foot is going to haunt my dreams forever.
Yeah.
And then Sandler just goes, yeah, I hear that a lot.
I get that often. Oh, fucking hell.
And then she attempts to get back with him, and he's like, absolutely no chance.
Yeah, but will you come and save the company?
Yes.
Yeah. So he finds out from Crazy Eyes that Chuck is going to sell the company and fire everyone that works for Blake Media.
Yes.
Just to make shitloads of money. And so she comes to find him to tell him that, and it's like, you need to stop this. And he's like, yeah, bullshit. They obviously make up, and so she's like, okay, if you don't trust me, if you don't, like, you hate me or whatever, you need to go back to New York and sort it out so that everyone doesn't get fired, because this is kind of your fault.
Yes.
But kind of my fault.
Okay. At the shareholders' meeting, Cedar has persuaded everyone to sell the company until Deeds, who has bought a single share, arrives and convinces everyone not to sell. However, Cedar controls a majority of the shares and the sales is approved. Babe arrives after having studied Blake's stolen diary and determined Blake's longtime butler, Emilio Lopez, is actually his legitimate son and the true heir as a result of an affair with his maid. So a lot has happened here.
Yeah, this is quite a big scene.
Yes.
It's like quite long. Yeah, so he rocks up, he's there thoroughly ready to go through that you just got all these like rich Americans who are shareholders like, fuck yeah, make me some money. Specifically that guy in the cowboy hat. He's like, I don't give a fuck, make me some money. So we get that.
He's the rich Texan from The Simpsons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he is. He literally is that guy without the guns.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they all agree, and they're like, yeah, fuck it, we're going. Adam Sandler rocks up. Classic. Save the day. I'm going to give this empowered speech of why you should all do the right thing. And then everyone's like, yeah, sure, let's all do the right thing. We're all going to stick up to it. Chuck Cedar is like, nah, fuck that, I want to be rich. I'm selling anyway. I've got 51%. No one can tell me shit.
Yeah. What does he say? He's like, oh, when I was a kid, I didn't want to... I wanted to write gift cards.
He's like, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a veterinarian, and now I own a chain of slaughterhouses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Berta goes, because she's there, so it's like, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a man. Deeds just goes, yeah, okay, that explains a lot. There's a guy who owns a bunch of porn sites. There's the Monopoly Man. There's a load of people there.
Yeah, everyone's just like, I wanted to do this when I was a kid. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this. And he's like, well, where'd you all get fucking lost?
And then
he's not happy.
Okay, to honor my uncle's memory, we need to save the business. And everyone's like, yeah, okay, I agree. And then it turns out 51% is owned by Chuck, who approves the sale anyway. And then Babe comes in with the MacGuffin of the movie, which is a stolen diary that we haven't mentioned.
We haven't mentioned it, but it is only mentioned once, twice in the whole movie.
Deeds finds a diary hidden in like.
He slides down the stairs, and as he slides down the stair banister, he lands on the table in the foyer and just completely destroys it. And then he finds the diary hidden in there.
Yeah, and then it turns out that the butler, who spent his entire life looking after Preston Blake, is actually Preston Blake's son, and the reason that he got this job is because he wanted to spend time with his son.
But without just letting him know that he was his son. Yeah.
Correct. So Emilio he's in charge, and the first thing that he does is fire
Chuck Cedar. He's gone.
Emilio immediately takes control of Blake Media and fires Cedar. Babe reconciles with Deeds after professing she loves him. Emilio thanks Deeds for his support and gives him $1 billion.
So he's like, yeah, I can't accept all this money. I don't want anything. I'm going home. Going back to my little town with the love of my life and go making pizzas. How about $1 billion? Yeah, all right. Yeah, who am I to say no? Not a kick in the teeth.
And then to finish the movie, Deeds spends some of his money on red Corvettes for everyone in Mandrake Falls and returns to the pizzeria with Babe.
I do like the fact that, I don't really know why this is in there, but every time they go to Mandrake Falls, I'm pretty sure they play Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Yes, they do.
It's great.
I think so.
It's so good. I don't know why, but it's in there and it's great.
The music in this movie is very good. But yeah, that's the movie. What I'm going to do
That is the movie. The whole town has Corvettes. Crazy Eyes crashes his immediately.
Because he has crazy eyes.
Because he has crazy eyes.
Is there anything else that we need to mention from the movie?
I don't have any more notes. I'm pretty sure I'm out there.
Yeah. Jared Harris was a dickhead. Alan Covert was a dickhead. Chuck Cedar was a dickhead. Cecil is given a second chance.
Yeah, because he's not like a cunt in this movie, though.
No.
He's like he's probably the only one that's like, I think, well, everyone that's from New York in this is just terrible, which is quite funny.
Yes, they are. It kind of echoes real life, you know?
Goddamn New Yorkers.
I love New York City.
Hey, it's a great city. It's just hot as fuck.
Yes. It is.
It was one of the most humid places I've ever been. Walking down Fifth Avenue is like walking down a fucking sauna. Jesus Christ. Only in the middle of, obviously in the middle of summer, but like, Jesus
Yes.
fuck, it's like a sweat box.
First time I went was in October, and I stayed at the Roosevelt. I went with my family.
I was gonna say, fuck.
Yeah.
Stay at the Roosevelt, eh?
Another thing we like to do in this podcast is discuss our cream de la scene, which is our favourite scene of the movie. I think we covered quite a lot of them as we were talking about it, but what's your top 2, top 3?
Top 3, the pizza fight might be my favourite.
Yeah.
I thought that was fucking, I don't know, it tickled me. Obviously the helicopter scene with Space Oddity I think that's probably my favourite scene in the movie.
Yeah.
And what else? I'm just looking at my notes for what was actually, I thought was fucking hilarious. And yeah, the first scene where you see the Blackfoot is fucking gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I think my top 3 are in that diner, just with that old guy berating Winona Ryder for having a hump on her back. The second one is quite a heartbreaking scene. It's where Deeds drops Winona Ryder off at her apartment, and then she realizes that she's fallen for Deeds and realizes what she's doing is absolutely awful. And then she just, I think they share a kiss, and then she goes in, and then she just breaks down.
Yeah,
sobbing.
she just fucking, that's it. She's gone.
Yeah. I think that's up there, and then I do like the mugging.
The mugging's good. The mugging is really good.
It's just how much Adam Sandler is just punching his best friend in the head. And then him showing up with like a neck brace the next day and like black eyes.
I forgot he wore that neck brace and that fucking wig for like the whole movie. There's like one scene in the thing. It's the first scene where we get introduced to Pam Dawson and she's asleep on the couch. And what is it? She's like, "Oh, I'm between apartments right now." And Alan Kovit's like, "I've told you, I've got a spare bed. You can sleep with me." And she's like, "Do you remember that time when we tried that one time and I woke up with you breathing heavily over me in the middle of the night?" It's like, "I was having an asthma attack. I couldn't find my inhaler." Like, "Oh yeah, you fucking sure." Oh, I forgot about that bit. That was fucking hilarious.
Alan Kovit's so good. And then before we end, I've just got a couple of pieces of trivia here. As they were riding around Central Park and they go down those steps, Winona Ryder, she hit a stick that was thrown there by Sonny Koufax. she fell off and she broke her arm.
Oh Jesus fucking Christ! Goddamn stick! Oh fuck!
During the mugging scene, Adam Sandler spun Alan Covert around. He slipped on the pavement, fell, cracked his skull, and then he was knocked out.
That was my bit. That was my piece of trivia.
There wasn't much trivia, but
no, there wasn't. The only other piece of trivia I've got is I needed to find out who played the quarterback from the movie.
Right.
So,
okay.
It doesn't have a Wikipedia for some reason. At 6'4" Brandon Malale is no stranger to standing out on the big screen. Brandon, a former college and pro football player, is best known for his scene-stealing performance as Kevin Ward, the obnoxious New York Jets quarterback in Mr. Deeds, starring Adam Sandler. That is his official IMDb, profile bio.
Oh, poor bastard. I wonder what happened.
Stealing.
I wonder what happened with his football career.
I mean, it didn't mention it. I don't know who he is. Don't know where he played.
And then...
Oh, wait. Played for the Fresno State Bulldogs.
Let's go Bulldogs.
Fuck the Bulldogs. Only if you're in Australia. If you're in Sydney, you get that. Fuck the Bulldogs.
Let's go Swans.
Nah, fuck the AFL.
And then I got a goofy
Go
as
the
well.
fucking Cowboys, baby.
One of Deed's greeting cards has the wrong "you're" on it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Controversial.
Who do you support in the AFL?
I don't watch... Oh, Carlton. Because I drink Carlton Dry.
Carlton, they are the... Who are Carlton? Are they the Bulldogs? No.
I have no idea who Carlton are, but I literally only support them because they, like, the beer I drink in Australia is called Carlton Dry, and it comes from Carlton, so that's the only reason. I've never watched AFL, but that's who I go for if it was on.
I've also never watched AFL. I think I'd enjoy it.
I feel like you need someone to explain it when you're watching it, because when you're watching it, like, you've got fucking no chance of understanding what's going on.
Find an Australian to take you to an AFL game.
Nah, they're all in fucking Melbourne.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
Well, the Swans are pretty good this year, and they're going on a run. There's a lot of Swans fans around at the moment.
Do you want to let the people know what we've got next week? Oh, Swans fan in Swansea as well. They're the Swans.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. So next week, I've completely fucking forgotten what we're going to do next week, I won't lie.
Oh, I know. Should I say?
Cool. Oh, is it? No, it's not what I'm thinking of. Is it 8 Crazy Nights?
8 Crazy Nights next week.
We're going Christmas episode, baby. Well, Hanukkah episode, baby.
We are celebrating Hanukkah in September with Adam Sandler's first animated movie, 8 Crazy Nights. And I'm quite looking forward to this because I love the Hanukkah song. And I'm fairly
I've never seen this. I've never seen 8 Crazy Nights before. I don't think. I feel like I would remember that. I feel like I'd remember an Adam Sandler cartoon.
I've seen it. I've got it somewhere. I've seen it. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's good. I can't remember.
Oh, God. Alright, well, tune in next week for an episode that we might not know. It might not be any good, but we'll make it fun.
Okay, we're going to have to cut this back. Matt, another thing we like to do on this podcast...
Oh, I was getting there. I wasn't finished yet.
Is we like to rate this movie out
there we go.
Oh, fuck it, I'll just cut that bit out. Is we like to rate
just
this
cut
movie.
that out. It'll be better. It'll be better if we cut that. All right.
We like to rate this movie out of a 10 possible sandbags and let the people know what sort of flood those sandbags could stop. So Matt, last week you gave Punch Drunk Love a 5 out of 10. What the fuck? You give Little Nicky a 10?
Yeah, fucking oath I gave Little Nicky a 10. I have no regrets. That's the benchmark. That's my favourite Adam Sandler movie, so that's the top one. Yeah. Everything below that can fucking try and live up to it.
What are you going to give Mr. Deeds this week?
I'm going to give Mr. Deeds... I give us a 7.2.
7.2 out of 10.
Yeah.
So that's closest to 7.2 so far is You Have the Animal at a 7.1 and The Wedding Singer at a 7.7. I am also going to give this... So I give Punch Drunk Love a 3.6. Big Daddy a 7.4. I am going to give this a 7.5 out of 10.
What did I give Big Daddy?
You give Big Daddy an 8.3.
Jesus, okay.
And The Waterboy an 8.3.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
These scores don't make any sense. Like, at all. You give Billy Madison a 4.3 apparently.
Yeah, because Billy Madison on the first week fucking pissed me off. I was like, yeah, nah. That's probably the only Adam Sandler... Well, it's not, but it's one of the big ones that I'm never going to watch again.
See, I could watch Billy Madison again, which I give a 4.3 to, but I could never watch Deuce Bigalow European Gigolo again, which I give a 4.4 to.
Oh, never. I would not watch either of the Deuce Bigalow movies ever again. They were dog shit.
Yeah. Oh, well.
What flood could your 7.5 sandbags stop, Gary?
My 7.5 sandbags could stop the flood of... Fuck, is there any liquid in this movie?
There's a lake someone drowns in.
Oh, yeah. Stop the flood of shots that Deeds is going to buy everybody when he gets back to Mandrake Falls with his $40 billion. Yes.
My only question is, why are you stopping shots?
Because I'm fairly sure a bunch of people in Mandrake Falls were underage.
Yeah, fuck them. They don't get them bought from. My 7.2 sandbags could stop the flood of tears from the United Negro College Fund after they realise that check's going to bounce. $40 billion check. Well, not anymore.
I didn't even think of that.
I wrote that down like 3 months ago, I won't lie.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I wrote that down when I originally watched this movie for us to record.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah. Next week we'll be watching Adam Sandler's famous Hanukkah movie, 8 Crazy Nights.
I'm not cutting out the thing from earlier. I
got nothing else.
Yeah,
I'm out of notes. I'm out of trivia. I'm out of fucks to give.
If you could rate us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Send us an email at sosanderouspod@gmail.com and follow us on our Instagram at sosanderouspod, please.
One more thing, the soundtrack for this movie doesn't include Tom Petty, so that's fucking bullshit.
Maybe it's a rights issue. Who knows?
Maybe it's...
Who knows? Right.
See you next week, everybody.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.